This process has been horrific. The complex feelings of shame, disgust, and self-hatred brought me bouts of depression, anxiety, eating disorder.
He took away my innocence, and that is something I will never be able to get back. How much is a little girl worth?
These are the voices of the brave women who testified against Larry Nassar in one of the largest and most well-known sexual abuse cases in the nation. USA Gymnastics, along with the U.S. Olympic Committee, have not done enough when it comes to the protection of their athletes. Before we can argue for better policies to be enforced to protect those athletes, it is important to first look at the severe elements that surround the case.
Complaints of sexual abuse started back in the 90s. The trial started after the first testimony from Rachel Denhollander, which then triggered a chain reaction that resulted in 156 brave women testifying as well. He was found guilty and is sentenced from 40 to 175 years.
My work and the army of survivors, we're not done yet. We still have to hold these organizations accountable. United States Olympic Committee, USA Gymnastics, Michigan State University, they enabled this monster. They took his side over us for so long.
According to the Indianapolis Star, USA Gymnastics has complaint files on a total of 54 coaches from the years 1996 through 2006. For years, USA Gymnastics would conduct internal investigations on complaints before deciding if it was necessary to bring in police.
Changes include the implementation of an abuse prevention training plan for members, parents, and athletes. Also, a formal monitoring plan will be created for athlete housing at the National Team Training Center, where some alleged victims say abuse by Nassar took place.
USA Gymnastics and the U.S. Olympic Committee should establish policies that include mandatory education regarding appropriate medical procedures from professional staff to increase awareness of sexual abuse. Three-time Olympic gold medalist and now civil rights attorney Nancy Hogshead-Macker commented that these new motions set out by legislation, quote, empowers the athletes to object if a coach demands they train while injured or speak out if they feel they are being abused. This concept is flawed since the majority of the athletes that were abused were far too young to be able to identify what sexual abuse was, affirming that even if the athletes were taught to speak out, that they would not know what inappropriate behavior from a trusted doctor would be.
That it was abuse. When did the light bulb go on that this is not okay?
Well, I think this is why I feel it's so important to talk about, because when I was younger, I only thought that a stranger could hurt me. I didn't know, and it never occurred to me that somebody that you could trust so much, a doctor, could hurt you. And I think that's why we really have to continue talking about, to educate everyone.
And like a lot of people think like, oh, you know, you probably just didn't say anything because you were embarrassed, or, you know, you didn't want anybody to get in trouble or anything like that. No, I didn't know.
By incorporating mandatory video screenings regarding the appropriate touching from trainers and medical staff to athletes, this will heighten the awareness of sexual abuse. That way, if athletes experience this type of abuse, they will be able to address and identify that they have been abused, thus stopping the cycle of neglect.
It doesn't matter who you're protecting. It doesn't matter that they're part of your organization and you want to save face. How about saving me?